Hey guys, Jeffries here and welcome back to Football Manager 2015. We are still Eastleigh. I'm as surprised as you guys are. I thought after the failure with Stevenage, I wondered if I was able to get back into management with a reputation still intact. Eastleigh gave me the chance, I jumped aboard, and actually over the last couple of in-game weeks I've had some job offers. I had an offer from Bristol Rovers which I turned down. I then had an interview with Hartlepool. That led to a discussion with Eastleigh where I asked them to increase my wage budget slightly, and they very, very nicely agreed. I then had another interview with Newport County which I turned down, and then there was a fourth interview, and I can't remember who that was with now off the top of my head, but I also attended that one and ended up negotiating an even higher wage budget for Eastleigh. So because of that, we are actually top of the league. We have a very, very good record at the moment. Goal difference is plus 36. We've won 18, drawn 9 and lost 5 of our 32 matches. I'm very, very pleased with this. This is Eastleigh's second season in the Vanarama Conference and we are top of the table. We started off quite well. We went to the top quite quickly. We then had a little bit of a bad run and dropped down the table again. We had a few injuries and suspensions, but me utilising the loan window has really played into our hands and we've now shot back up the table into top place. And I'm absolutely thrilled with how that's going for us. I'm very, very happy indeed. So, I am actually going to show you guys a match, so you can see what kind of team we have now. This is our squad. I've gone with a very similar starting lineup for the last few games. I will have to make one change today though because of an injury to Reece James. As you can see, we have a lot of loan players. That is something that I have exploited in this division. There doesn't seem to be a restriction on the number of loan players you can have in a team. So, for example, there's Jamal Howlett-Mundell. For those of you who've watched You Don't Want Anything with Kids in the past, you'll know exactly who Howlett-Mundell is. Reece James we have on loan from Manchester United. Ben McLaughlin, I think I've mentioned him before. Tom Conlon, Martin, is it Hovbay? He's on loan from Liverpool to the end of the season. We also have Jake Gray, he's on loan from Crystal Palace till the end of the season. We have Callum McFadzean, who we've had since the start. Dean Henderson, who's a goalkeeper on loan from Manchester United. Darren McQueen we've had since the start. Brad Inman, he is on loan from Crewe, again till the end of the season. Who else have we got that is new? Dominic Gape, he's on loan from Southampton. Dylan Connolly, Andy Cannon, Josh Sims, he's also on loan from Southampton. Mark McNulty, who I was going to give a debut to, but as you can see he's not quite fully fit yet, so I'm going to leave him out for just that little bit longer. Jack Dunn, he's a new signing for us as well. He's actually a free transfer signing. He is our player. I'm going to put him on the bench instead of McQueen for this game, and I'm going to put Hoganson in the starting lineup at left back. I'm also going to move oh god, I might just call him Kyle for the process of this series. He's on loan from... oh, I didn't read that properly. Reading, that's the one. I'm going to move him onto the bench instead of Paul Reed. So we have one debutant today in Jack Dunn. The rest of our team, I believe, have played for us before. That's why they've all got squad numbers. Shall I bring Ben Close back in? Probably not. We have one other player who's new. Oh no, I've mentioned him, haven't I? Hoiberg. Yeah. He's starting in midfield for us. I think Oscar Goben, he's the other guy. I knew there was someone else. Young centre midfielder. He's joined us also on a free transfer. He's actually proved to be quite a good acquisition for us, so I'm very pleased about that. But as you can see, not fully fit, which is why he's not in the squad. And Ben Close, Andy Cannon, they could be in the squad, but I don't really want to upset the rhythm that we've got in the midfield here at the moment, because Conlon and Herbe are working really, really well together. So let's go into squad number selection. We're going to give Jack Dunn the number... might as well give him 18. And let's play. So like I said, I have exploited the loan window quite a lot in this season. The risk behind that really is, what am I going to do next season when all these loans expire? Some of the players like Howlett-Mundell, his contract at Crystal Palace actually expires at the end of this season. So I'm very, very hopeful that I can actually sign him on a free transfer at the end of the season. And if I can do that, then fantastic. The board have given me a very good wage budget. I'm still under budget in terms of wages. I've been over a few times, but I've always managed to find a way to trim it down again. And then there's the fact that I went to job interviews, and because of that they increased the wage budget even more, which again, I'm very, very grateful for them for doing that. So overall, we have a strong position to actually sign these players on free transfers at the end of the season. The question then is anyone, are there any other teams who are going to come in and try and snatch them from us? Hopefully not. And if that is the case, then pretty much all of these players could actually end up joining us full time, which would be brilliant. Hopefully we'll be making our first adventure into the Football League with them as well, which would just be fantastic. As for now though, this is an FA Trophy match. We didn't do so well in the FA Cup, we got knocked out in qualifying. But this is the 4th round of the FA Trophy. We had a couple of replays in order to get here, and a couple of extra times. Sutton United were the biggest obstacle for us. They took us to a replay, we were 2-0 up. They then brought it back to 2-2. We went through extra time with the first tie, and nothing happened, it stayed at 2-2. So in the second tie we beat them 5-3. Again, happy, we scored 5 goals, 7 in total. Unhappy, we let in 3, 5 in total. So there's a bit of work to do defensively still. It is because we're set to overload, our defence can be quite weak at times. Luckily we have a very strong front line, which is further reinforced by some of the acquisitions that we've made. Connor Calcutt has been exceptional this season, and Zola has stepped up to the plate as well, which I'm very, very pleased with, because even if we can't hold on to all the rest of our players over the season, we have still got Cropper in goal, Zola and Calcutt up front. James Constable has been given a new 2-year deal with us as well. He's struggled a little bit this season with injuries, but he is still the main man when he comes back. He has scored a few goals for us, and like I said, I've given him a new contract because of that. Other players who we actually own, we own Jack Dunn now, which is good. Alex Bray on the right midfield, he's been playing out of his skin for us this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Who else do we have? I'm looking to see who we have in the squad. I think that's it. Lewis Aird, we do own him, but I've not really been that impressed with him this season. That's why Hoganson has been playing, and that's actually why I signed Reece James on loan, just so we had a better cover at left back. Because I wasn't too happy with Aird. He's still in the squad because he can play left back. He's a good sub to have available. I've utilised him at right back a couple of times this season as well. But overall, I think he'll be one of the departures at the end of the season. I'm sure we could bring in a better left back during the closed season. So yeah, squad-wise, I'm happy. Staff-wise, I could do with improving the coaching team. Maybe getting in a new scout as well at some point. Although the scouts that I've got at the moment have come up with some very, very good names for me. And they're also the reason that we have all these loan players. They don't actually appear on the loan list. What I've done is gone into the world screen, through to the Premier League, and then asked my scouts to scout certain teams for me, get team reports, and they also bring back a list of players that are available to loan. And that's where all of my loanees have actually come from. None of them have come from the transfer screen. So there's a nice little top tip for you guys. If you want to sign some decent young players on loan from Premier League clubs, don't do it via the loan screen, do it via the scouting screen, because you'll get much better results. You end up with some real crackers. Players like Howlett Mundell, I'd pretty much forgotten about him until I asked my scout to search Crystal Palace, and I ended up bringing him back, and I also brought Gray. He's from Palace, I believe, and he's done well for us too. He's keeping Bray out of the team, so you've got Gray and Bray battling for that right midfield slot, and they're doing well. Dylan Connolly as well has proved to be a good acquisition, and McQueen has even played down that right hand side and done well. So I'm a little bit spoilt for choice at the moment, but that's all because of my scouting team. So if I can improve that just a little bit more, if we get into the Football League, add another scout, search around a little bit more for some quality players, I can build a pretty good team. I've got a very good board. They're constantly injecting money into the club to help with running costs. So it might be a slightly different situation financially next season, unless they sell the club. But at the moment, things are stable, which I'm glad about. That's good to see. I'm very, very happy with that. Right, we've reached half time, and as you can see, it is 0-0. I am going to make a substitution. Hobe there is looking injured. I'm going to bring on our friend Carl here. He's going to play in that role for the second half. I'm tempted to bring Calcutt off for Dunn. I'm going to give him a little bit extra time out there just to see if he can improve. If he hasn't improved by, let's say, the 60th minute, then I will be bringing him off. We've got Gray on the ball. Swings it in. Not a very good cross. No way Zola was going to be able to attack that one. Now Zola has been our real dark horse this season. He started off on the physio table, and he stayed on the physio table for a very, very long time. Pretty much until the beginning of December he was out injured for. Made the odd appearance and scored maybe, I think, 1 or 2 goals during that time. Since he's come back into the starting lineup proper, that coincided with Constable going out injured, so that was also a very good thing for us. The fact that Zola became available as Constable was injured. But he's played very, very well for us. You see there, he nearly set Gray away on goal. He links up well with Calcutt. He actually scores some pretty valuable goals for us, and some good goals. They're not just like scrappy ones, toe pokes it in from 1.5 foot away. These are actually well taken finishes. He scored penalties for us, he scored headers. I think he had one kind of like bicycle kick type goal. Volleys from the outside of the area. Just really well taken finishes. I've been really, really impressed with him this season. Definitely justified me signing him in the first place, because I was a little bit worried that we were wasting our money on him. He's on something like £1,000 a week, £2,000 a week, so there was a huge financial risk in paying someone that much money when you're a non-league club. But he has helped fire us to the top of the table, so he could be one of our key players next season. And I'm going to test him out with the new strike partner. We're going to bring Jack Dunn on. Calcutt hasn't done anything to improve since half time. He stayed exactly the same as he was. So we're going to bring him off. We're going to bring Dunn on for his debut. I've been very impressed with Cody Cropper in goal as well. Again, he missed the first half of the season through injury, which is why we have a lot of low-knee goalkeepers in our squad, because I was constantly experimenting to try and find better keepers. We've got Nick Townsend, we've got Sam Besant as well, who joined us as a free agent. We've also got Henderson, who's joined us very recently to cover as well, because even then we were getting injuries and suspensions to our low-knee keepers, which wasn't very good. But now Cropper's come back, he's cemented his first team spot again, and he's doing well for it. He's kept us in a lot of games, and he's actually set up quite a few attacks with his quick distributions too. Alright, Zola here has a penalty and the chance to score again. Straight down the middle. He made that look very, very easy. Almost too easy. I wonder why the keeper didn't move there. That's a strange one. Let's have a look at that again, shall we? Come on, replay. He literally hit that straight down the middle and the keeper just didn't move. That's a real strange one. He's just standing there with his hands on his head now. Should have dived, mate. He might have saved it. No skin off my nose though. We're 1-0 up. Very late on in this game. Looks like we could be progressing to the next round of the Cup. Wouldn't it be brilliant if we could do a League and Cup double? Considering where we were last season, and I had 1 game left to save my job, which luckily we won the first game of this season, which kept me in employment, and then we just kept on winning. And now it's 2-0 in this game. Howlett Mundell has scored again. I think this is my favourite league to manage in, Vanarama Conference, because you can get some really good ex-Football League gems for relatively low wages. You can also exploit the loan system a lot better. There doesn't seem to be a cap on loan players. I think there's a cap on the type of loan players, so there's a limit to how many players you can loan from the same club, for example, and I think there's a limit to international loanees. I think there's something like that as well. There's something that I'm currently trying to extend Inman's loan, and there's some kind of limit where I was on 3 months, and that's roughly as high as it can go. Something along those lines. I'll have to check that out and bring that up again in another episode. But apart from that, you can pretty much sign whoever you want. And because you're trying to push to something big, which is the Football League, that is the best you could get from the non-league. You don't look at the Premiership. That's a long way away. But you see your chance to get into the Football League for the first time in your club's history, and the amount of money that the board are willing to give you to push towards that target, and you can end up working with some really, really good squads. You look at the quality of players that we actually have in this team right now. Players like McFadzean on loan from Sheffield United, League One quality player, and yet he's playing for us. Howlett Mundell, who I believe can be at least Championship quality in the future, and again he's playing for us. Calvin Zola, who 2 years ago was in the SPL, he's now playing for us. Even players like, can't see, Hurst, who's under there somewhere, he was on loan. No, sorry, wasn't on loan. He was in my Fleetwood team last year for the basics, and we got up to the Championship, and he was still making appearances for my Fleetwood team, and he's here. Ben McLaughlin as well, another really good young player. Tom Conlon, formerly of Peterborough. Just the quality of players that we have here is staggering, and the number of players we've managed to get on loan from Premiership clubs. So they're dropping down 4 leagues in order to play for us, and yet they're doing it, and it's just brilliant. You could build these really good teams, you can get really good staff as well, good coaches, good physios, scouts, director of football, just everybody. You can build up an incredible backroom team, and then you can carry that team the whole way through the Football League with you, all the way to the top. And just to think about that now is quite mind-blowing. This is only our 2nd season. It's only my first full season in charge of Eastleigh. We're now down to 10 men. We'll ignore that for a second. I'll just fill that in there. Yeah, let's move that there. We'll move that there. We'll move that there. We'll still bring Inman on. So yes, sorry, as I was saying, just the amount of flexibility that you can have in building your teams up, and then the amount of time you can actually hold on to that team before it becomes the time to renew. I mean, this squad we've got here could compete at a very high level in League 2, and I am looking forward to getting promoted just to see the kind of squad we can build. First of all, how many of these loanees can we actually hold on to for next season? That's always something I look forward to seeing. And then the next thing I look forward to seeing is how close to promotion can we get to next season? Can we try and do a double promotion, for example? Or, you know, can we get into the playoffs? Can we just keep pushing higher? Can we do a better cup run? Can we go far in the Capital One Cup? Can we have an FA Cup run? Not having to qualify anymore. We can just go straight into the first round. There's not the FA Trophy anymore, which is a bit of a shame, because that's guaranteed silverware if you're a really strong performing team in the conference, as we're proving in this game. Just the chance to actually compete at a higher level and push to see how far the team can go. It is something that I really enjoy about this game, and I like doing it at this level because you do have to work within the budgetary constraints. You don't just get given £100 million to spend on whoever you want and then you go out and win the Champions League and try and claim you're the best. That's not how it works here. Here you have to actually find the players. They're not given to you on a platter like they are in the Premiership and in some cases the Championship. You actually have to go out there and find the player who's down on his luck, needs a decent club, bring him in, try and keep your costs down as much as you can, nurture them, fit them into your system, and then reap the rewards. And that's the Football Manager challenge, and that's why I love this game so much. And there's McFadzean going down over the defender's leg. I think he could have perhaps pulled that back to Inman a little bit sooner, but I'm not overly bothered about that because we have another penalty, we have another chance to score. It looks like our friend Carl is going to be the man who takes it. Yep, that looks like Carl, number 28. There he is. He steps up, back of the net, 3-1. That should be game over, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Can any of you watching this video, can any of you say in all honesty that you know half of this team? Because I know a vast majority of them. Obviously I know players like Calcutt and Zola. Hoganson I know from my time at Stevenage at the start of last season, because I was the guy who signed him for Stevenage and then loaned him out to Eastleigh in the first place. I didn't know who Cropper was, admittedly, but I know who Hurst is, I know who Howlett Mundell is, I know who Conlon is, I know who McFadzean and Inman are. The rest, Lewis Ed, I am aware of. I know roughly who he is. The rest of them, I'm not aware of. But, using my scouting system, I found them. And that's what I love about this game, is you can just unearth these talents. And then 2-3 years from now, you'll be watching a game of football, and there they are. And you suddenly realise you know everything about them. You know their strengths, their weaknesses, their best position. And you watch the bemusement on your mates' faces whilst you're telling them everything you know about this player. And yeah, believe me, I've been in that situation, and it is quite funny. But anyway, I think I've talked for long enough in this episode. My throat is killing me now. Red raw with all the talking. We won the game 3-1. That's the main thing. I just wanted to show you guys the team to see how well we were doing. You look at our recent track record, how long it's been since we last lost a game, and even that one, it's only because we had Carl De Silva sent off. that we weren't really able to pull ourselves back into it. But you look at some of the results since: a 5-0 win against Wrexham, a 3-0 win against Enfield, 3-0 against Barrow and Woking, 4-0 against Aldershot. There's the 5-3 against Sutton, 3-0 against Forest Green. We didn't beat Torquay or Altrincham, so to get a win after 2 consecutive away draws, it's good. And now we've got 2 consecutive home matches against Chester and Dartford. So I'd like to think by about here, this Wrexham game, I'd like to think we'll have a firm idea as to whether or not we're actually going to win the league, if we haven't already wrapped it up. I don't think with 3 matches to go we'll have actually guaranteed the league. I think maybe here will be the day we actually confirm it. But I'd like to have a firm idea of where we're going to be by the Wrexham match. So for this episode, I'm going to start wrapping it up. The next time we'll be back will be after the Halifax game, so it'll actually be end of season. We'll go through who was the best and worst players in the team, and then I'll start talking about who I'd like to hold on to for next season. So until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I will see you soon.